friends. My name is Pramod Sharma, and today our guest is Jim Pagiamtzis. I met Jim a number of years ago at a networking event, and he is the president of 21 Connections. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you much, Phil. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Okay, in a sentence or two, please describe what you do.
All right. So I'm the founder of 21 Connections, where I help entrepreneurs learn, speak, and socialize with proven strategies that work to create revenue and success in their business.
Okay, terrific. And today our topic is rethinking the art of networking.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's the problem with conventional networking?
Well, there's a huge issue. So what I wanted to do is just talk a little about some networking principles that I've been using, and then we're going to go back and explain how you can do that better.
Okay.
Okay. So I created a system called the PAR strategy many years ago, and I wanted to expand it a little bit.
Okay, so I believe that's PARF.
PARF. So
Okay, and you developed that in 2006, 2007.
2007, after much experiences in doing it and failing and doing it again, I felt that I was in the process of just putting my thoughts down and realizing that I was doing something over and over again. It was kind of more of a process. The first is P is presentation. So we all have this great card called business card that we carry, and I believe everyone should have one. No matter if you're a professional out there, you can create an info card, I call it. So why that's important is that sometimes you can't have your resume everywhere, but you can have a business card. That's what I did. I had a business card with me, went out there, and it was an experience. It wasn't the greatest of business cards. It wasn't something that's going to win an award or anything like that. It has since evolved since then, but I believe that it's a good thing to have. I've seen last number of years been impressed by the people that I've met who had some sort of info card or business card on them, and there's a lot of things you can put on there. So I'll give you some tips. So you can put your LinkedIn profile. You can put on there.
Oh, you would put that on there?
Put it on. You can put a blog. You can put a lot of strategic things on a business card, and I teach this in a lot of talks I do here in the entire region. So the next is A.
Sorry, before we get to that, so with the presentation, are you talking about the card itself or the way you hand the card to the person?
The way you hand the card is in person, but also, that's a good question, is you want people in the end to earn your card. So as we go through the system and we add talk about the other letters, you'll lay the groundwork that this card is an important piece of cardboard, okay? That's actually worth money. So you want to make sure that you're transacting with people that you want to transact with, because at the end, we're going to talk about the letter F, which is an important part in the system.
Okay. And since the card is important, that's why I haven't earned it yet. You haven't given me your card.
No.
Maybe by the end of the interview, I'll qualify.
You'll have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen, to see if I give him my card.
Okay, and on the card, do you believe the back should be blank, or do you put things on there? Some people say blank so you can write on it. Others like having two sides to have more content.
It's a good question. My first ones were blank.
Okay.
As it evolved, I had things on the back because this is more of a strategic marketing card. So there's the front, and then there's a back with my information on there.
Okay.
It's a good question. What I usually do is I have either my phone with me or a piece of paper with me, and I just make notes during the event. So that's what I've done, and I'm very comfortable with that. But yes, having a blank was advantageous. But depending as you evolve, you may put stuff in the back. Like my next card will be blank. I'm taking it blank, and I'll have a place for notes on my next card.
Okay, so P is presentation, and then A, what's that?
A is attitude. And attitude I cannot teach anyone. Attitude is who you are. So how I frame this for everyone is that when you shake a hand, okay, you matched it. So the technique that I share is called mirror and matching.
Okay.
So no matter if you get a fish handshake, which many not received in their travels, you match it. If you become
so you have a fish handshake too then?
Well, if you get a fish handshake,
okay,
you're gonna match it.
Yeah.
Because if I come overbearing on it, then the person's gonna almost shut down.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a big fan of that, but I think that in my experience is I want to create a relationship. So it's the handshake. The next thing is what you say.
And that's also part of attitude.
Attitude is what you say.
Okay.
So, we're human beings, so we have our days. But I think that when you walk into an environment, you gotta leave out the door. You have to be the best you. And
Okay.
and because people will see that if you go in, my name is Joe. Is that
That doesn't work?
No, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna work. So you want to be an authentic you, and you want to engage with people. It may happen maybe once in a while that you may not be up to it. Maybe you don't go to the event because you're just not all feeling that great.
Okay.
So attitude is important, and then we have to check ourselves at the door, make sure that. So for myself, I'm more aware of it now. I have some power words I use, or I do certain things to prepare myself for where I'm going. If we'll talk about a little bit strategic networking, where you're going. So like I'm on an event tonight, and I'm doing some research of where I'm going and what I'm doing and what I'll be saying.
Okay. So we've got the P and the A, and then R is
R
next.
is response.
Response.
So
Okay.
the key thing is now you've met this professional. It's about asking questions. So I'm a big believer. You ask a couple of questions, and then you close your mouth. And you use these things. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We have to use them proportionately.
You mean listen to the people?
Listen. You got to become an active listener. You have to close up. And this probably will take some work. But what happened is you'll get some great information nuggets. I can tell you the past number of years, I've got some great insights of how to better work my business, better connect with everybody, and I've had great feedback from people. I'll give you an example. Many times I have a fair amount of meetings. I have a blue book with me I bring, and I make notes
Okay.
in it. And a number of months ago, I was meeting with a potential client, and so I literally made a page of notes. Fast forward a couple of months later, we were having a discussion, and I pulled the book and I said, we were discussing this at Tim Hortons. He was like, wow, you wrote all that down?
Okay.
And I said, yes, you can. He felt I had graduated to being a lawyer. I said, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a good scientist. Can we agree on that? Like, when I was younger, I wanted to become a scientist. And he goes, you can understand. So he's impressed. So now we're on literally on the same page as what we're discussing. So in some in a conversation, you're standing up, you're a lot of people, but I have a rule also how much time you spend with people. So maybe you want to spend about 10 minutes, and you will go on to the next person. So you can actually, I have these blank cards I bring with me where I can make some of those, like these blank cue cards.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Because sometimes if you take out a gadget, then it just looks.
Gadget. I can have my Windows on my phone, and I can put the Word document, create a Word document, and it automatically saves it and just put it back. And I'm turning it off, turning it on all the time.
And
it
looks a little distracting because they don't know. Like maybe you're sending a text message or you're distracted.
So
but paper, they can see that you're writing something down.
Some cue cards do that. So, and then you have to be a little point form. So like I went to an event 2 weeks ago, and I got 4 referrals from one event.
Excellent.
And why that happened is because I had a raving fan who was there, and he spoke very highly of me. So I got 2 speaking opportunities and a couple other opportunities from that. But as soon as I went downstairs, can I borrow a pen from the parking lot attendant? Can I borrow a piece of paper? He goes, what more do you want? I had to make notes. It went great notes, but I made notes. And then when I got back to the office, I fixed them. I had the notes there so I can follow up in a month or so. Cause it's going to probably be September that I'll be able to follow up with these.
Okay. Now you were saying that you ask questions of the people. Do you have standard questions you ask every person, or how do you think of what to ask them?
I didn't bring it with me, but I have a little card that goes in my card holder, and it has 10 questions.
Oh.
I can ask. So I have a lot of things that are called trigger events for me that I do. So one of them is this. So hi Pramod, nice to meet you. What got you started to doing Taxevity? And what do you enjoy about it?
Okay.
So I'll ask a couple of questions. You're going to tell me, because the number one thing that people love to talk about is
themselves.
You got to feed right into that. And I just listen, actively listen. Great. Wow, how's that? And then you say little things to that. And I remember I was talking to a young entrepreneur a few months ago, and she says to me after we were done, she goes, "That was the best conversation I've had in like 6 months."
Okay, and they were talking about themselves.
And they're not about themselves. And I asked her, "May I ask why?" She goes, "Nobody's ever asked me those questions." I go, "I hope I didn't ask you anything." She goes, "No, they're very intelligent questions." And what happens is we're going to be, again, near the end, we're going to put all this stuff together, is that it creates the thing called a relationship. And there's a friend of mine, her name is, I'll tell her who she is, Carla Langhorst, successful author, entrepreneur. I have called Carla many times over the past couple of years. Whether she's in a meeting or something, she always picks up because she knows what I'm calling for a question or that. So you want to create that ability, and this is where by the time this interview, you will have these little processes that you can put together, use them if you like, and then as you get comfortable with them, you'll be able to do them naturally. So that's what I was excited about this interview.
Okay, so we've done PAR,
yes.
And next is F.
F is follow up, follow through. So it's F squared.
Okay.
Okay? So this is where the rubber meets the road. You've gone through this process and this work of networking, of presenting, attitude, response, follow through, making the notes and that everything. So now, you've gone out, you've earned the right where I've given you my card.
I got the card. This interview is now over.
And now you've got that. So you have all these cards. The next is what you're going to do with the cards. You have to have a system of what you're doing. Are you going to follow up? Are you going to connect with them on LinkedIn? Are you going to send an email to them saying, "Great meeting you"? Did you promise anything to them? So I have a vast number of audios and downloadable insights on my website, and I'll mention my website at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a great value to offer them right even before I get there. Okay. So same with Taxevity. You've done a number of interviews. You can take some of those interviews if you wanted and leverage those interviews down the road if you wanted, if there was someone who felt that was something of interest. So
tell us how to do that, because we want to leverage.
So you got to leverage. So I spent December 2013, about a week during the holidays, and I've shot about 300 videos over the past 5 years. So I sat down, locked myself in our room, and I organized all the videos that were dealing with LinkedIn, all the videos that deal with the networking, all the videos with social media. It was a little painful, but it was all worth it because when people visit the downloadable section, everything's in order.
Okay.
And I can, when I'm doing, say, a proposal, I can take that video, put it on there, and I found that was not just for me, but for potential clients who want to learn about me. So I take a clip and I email that. So it's easier for me. It's almost like I don't have to worry where it is. It's on my website. I know that. So I can tell people, I could say, "Great to meet you," and say you want to learn about networking, for example. You're fascinated. Well, promote. You can go to downloads, go to 21connections.ca, download the PDF, it's 20 pages long, and read it. Or better yet, I can email you the link. And then when you get to the office, it'll be there. Would that work for you? And you probably say, "Yes, thank you." So then, there's the first. So you can lead the conversation too if you choose. And this is a part that I believe is taking a leadership role, not just in your life, but in the conversation. Because sometimes people may say, "I'll go ahead and do that," and we're going to give them the benefit.
Maybe they will, maybe
they won't. So leading them through the process is important. Again, we've been talking about a thing called work. It's the best word I can use to describe it. You have to do work. Sometimes success may seem boring, but these are principles and practices that work that I take pride in doing, and I find the more impact I have in sharing them through written, through interviews like this, will only bring impact. And I think that follow through something is the rubber meets the road, and you do them over and over again, you will begin to see your revenue increase, you're having better meetings. So if you're having a meeting, it's for a good reason you're having a meeting.
Okay.
We can go have meetings all the time, day. I can be actually guilty of that myself. but you can have better strategic meetings. Like on Monday coming up, I have a meeting through referral. We met, got connected by someone, and now we're meeting up because he had an idea, and my friend said, well, why don't you guys get together and discuss that idea? So we spoke over the phone for about 20 minutes. I said, I think you're onto something. Let's progress. I'll bring my notepad, you bring your notepad, and let's talk about it. So there's concreteness to that, not just meeting Tim Hortons to have a ice cap.
Right. Okay. So we've gone through your system. We've covered the PARF, and now we're looking at the final letter. What's that, and what does it stand for?
It's a long word, relationships.
Okay.
And this is where the process you have been working on takes everything into action. So you got the business card, you worked through the process. Now it's in that relationship. And why that's important is that person is not just a connection on LinkedIn. It's not just someone you're going to add to your newsletter. It's someone that you want to grow long term. And what you'll find is, if you take that really into consideration, you will have a lifelong raving fan of yours that knows what you do well. They know you know what they do well, and down the road they could be a big raving fan, or you can refer business to them. And that is something that's very possible. It does take a little bit of a plan of action to get it done. And that's what I realized the past number of years is that I have a Rolodex of people that I can reach out to if I have a question regarding something. If I'm stuck on something, I can give them a call, and they'll pick up the phone. The worst thing is you pick up the phone and you get voicemail all the time. Right? You want to pick up the phone, people are gonna answer your call. Okay, and here, Jim, you call? Yes. I know voicemail, but I think voicemail sometimes is something that we kind of avoid and just pick up the phone. The other person I'd be looking at, don't know the number. There's a whole bunch of things that could be happening on the other side. We can't predict that. But I make an effort. If I get a voicemail within 24 hours, it's on my voicemail. I'm going to get 24 hours. It's going to get returned.
Okay. Now, we've been talking about rethinking the art of networking.
Yes.
Now, what is the rethinking part?
So the rethinking is we've gone to the part of the strategy. So what I want to get into now is peeling this onion. Is why are you doing what you're doing? How many events are you going to? Are you keeping track? So rethinking is that how many events have you gone to? Say, you went to 10 events, say in July. Okay, you met all these people. Did you keep track of what happened and everything? Did it lead to a new client? Did it lead to revenue? Did you connect with someone? What were the results from that relationship you created? Okay. And what you'll find is that if nothing happened with those 50 networking events, then you just wasted time, energy, gas.
Good point.
And energy. So what you can do is say, okay, I'm gonna go to 2 networking events. This is the goal. This is why I'm going. They're in my industry. Okay. And this is what I want to accomplish from it. So you walk in already with a strategy. So the goal is, before I walk in, I go to strategy. Why are you going? What's happening at the event? So I'm going to a specific event tonight. I'm already doing my research on who's going to be there. I might go on LinkedIn and find some of the speakers tonight, because we're going to have an after party where the speakers are available. I want to say, John Smith, great presentation. How long have you been? Congratulations on being the founder of, Matchmaking Incorporated. What got you started in matchmaking? You mentioned something in your presentation about this. Can you come talk a little bit about that? I'm engaged with them.
Right.
I am present with them. So part of the rethinking, I'm already working on the relationship right there and then. That's magical. My hair is standing. It's magical. One thing is that we get in really stuck with the ambiance of what's happening. All these 50, 60 people around enjoying themselves. You want to be present with them. An earthquake could be happening. You want to be that. I call it looking at their eyeballs.
Looking at their eyeballs.
I'm very,
Okay.
recently, I read a lot of great books in the networking and relationship area. And one sentence I read recently, look at the eyeballs. Like, well, that's intense. Look at their eyeballs. Well,
It
the
can be
color,
creepy.
It can be creepy. And it was creepy, but I really, it helped me because sometimes I have a very extroverted personality. I get excited. My hands get going sometimes. So, but if I'm looking at them like that, it's not creepy at all. They don't even know you're looking at their eyeball.
Okay.
They don't know that. I know I'm looking.
Okay.
And what it happens is it really creates engagement, and then become present with you, and then the authenticity comes in of what they do. And I've heard some amazing stories from people because I was asking the right questions. And time we shake hands, we go separate ways. We really had a great conversation. And the goal is if you can have 5 maybe conversation like that, perhaps, or whatever you choose to. You'll be a happy professional walking out of that event with some great homework to do, and then you can move forward. And this is where I continue to work on. I continue to talk to existing clients, potential clients that I would like to bring on. I have a client right now. I've been working for almost 2 years to secure them, and I call her every 6 months.
Okay.
How are you? Are you enjoying my? She gets my newsletter. Have you enjoying my newsletter? It's a big sports media company.
Okay.
So there's opportunity there, and always she gives me the time of day. She's a very busy lady, extremely busy, but she gives me 10 minutes of her time. I take the 10 minutes very, very seriously.
Okay.
Okay, and for that I had a chance to visit her office once, have a half-hour conversation. So I know that when opportunity comes, she will reach out to me. I have no doubt she will reach out to me, at least and say, okay, we're ready. Can you come in?
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you for all of those tips that
Okay.
you've given us on networking.
Mm-hmm.
What we do now is something new in our
Okay.
program. You're our guinea pig because I know you're flexible, so I thought let's try this with you.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll say a word, and
Okay.
then just tell us what comes to your mind when you
Okay.
hear that word.
Okay.
So we've got 5 of these words.
Okay.
So the first one is health.
Life.
Okay. The next one is wealth.
Misunderstood.
Okay. The next word is insurance.
Important.
Okay. And the next word is trust.
You have to earning it.
Okay. And the final word is now.
Present.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you for doing that segment, which is new to our program. Now, what's the best way for people to reach you?
So the best way is you can reach me through my website. It's www.21connections.ca. There's the bottom is a feature you can click on. You can book a time to speak with me, and that's the easiest thing. My contact information is on my website as well. My about, how to email me or call me if you like. So you can do that, and there's also again some downloadable videos and things like that on there that you can watch at your leisure.
Okay, well, thanks for your time, Jim.
Thank you much for that. I appreciate that interview. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for joining us for Tea at Taxevity. The Taxevity Insurance Advisory helps you understand insurance and bridges gaps in your coverage. There's no premium for peace of mind. How healthy is your insurance?